Rahim Nahmaduhu wa nusalli ala Rasulihil Kareem. We were discussing the chapter of Sajdatul Sahu. Now, Sajdatul Sahu is when there is a mistake in Salah, a redeemable mistake. What does redeemable mistake means? Yeah, a mistake which you can correct. And similar things like in a Hajj, certain mistakes you do in a Hajj is finished. Like if you make jima with your wife, you know what, jima before Arafat, finish, your Hajj is gone. If you don't go for Arafah, your Hajj is gone. Some similar in Salah, you don't make Qiraat, you don't make Ruku, you don't make Sajda, your Salat is gone. It's not redeemable, it's not savable. Like in Buyu also, you do Buyu, you do business transactions, certain mistake you make in Buyu, you can, by taking qabza of it, it gives the benefit of transfer of ownership. But certain things, even though you may give it to the person, it doesn't give the benefit of transfer of milk because it is not something which in Sharia is considered to be an item of value or something. So like that in Buyu, in Ibadat, in Hajj, in Salat, certain mistakes are fixable and certain mistakes are not fixable. So we are doing the chapter of, we discuss what mistakes you can fix them, what mistakes you can fix them, and how you fix them, and what mistakes you can't fix them, right? So I told you, if you left out a faraz, which is a rukn, no way you can fix it. If you left out a wajib, unintentionally, you can fix it by making sajda sahu. If you left out a wajib intentionally, you can't fix it, you have to repeat it in the time. So then briefly, what are the things that we say a wajib? If you left out a wajib completely, if you delayed a wajib, or you added something in the salah, those are the things we discussed. Anyway, let's start the new sabak from where must you read now? Tell me. Oh, right. Okay. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Nahmadu wa nusalli ala Rasul Kareem. We know this, we just go one step back. For a woman, all her salahs are the same. She will read softly. And when we say softly, we discuss this in detail in Kitab. She must at least hear herself. The preferred opinion is loud, is that your neighbor must at least hear you. And soft, you must at least hear yourself, right? So this is also important for the ladies. We discussed this before, but I mentioned again. Even you're reading your salah by the house, as a lady, she must hear herself at least. That is the preferred. If you're reading salah where you don't hear your salah yourself, your salah is not valid. Your salah is not valid. So that I gave you the definition of loud and soft. So soft is at least you must hear yourself, and loud is at least the person next to you must hear you, right? So that is now the definition. Now, besides that, we know that for the males, for the imam of a male, then certain salah has to be loud. Yes, if you are reading individually, then you've got a choice. You can read all the salahs, even soft. So the male, if he's reading individually, all his salah he can read soft as long as you can hear him. But when you're the imam of people, then certain salawat you must read loud. Are you with me? Right? So the salawat you must read loud is Fajr, Maghrib, and Isha. So when we say you must read the salah loud, it means that the person next to you at least must hear bare minimum. Obviously, if you're in a big jamaat, the whole idea is all the people behind you must hear what you're reading. All the people behind you must hear what you're reading. But the bare minimum is you must hear what yourself are reading. So to read, so there I told you now, we gave a long explanation that what is loud, what is soft, and when does it become wajib to read loud. So again, it becomes wajib in the Fajr, the Maghrib, and the Isha to read the Qiraat loud, right? So that's wajib. So if a person, what he done is reverse the order. What he's supposed to as the Imam, so this doesn't apply to a lady. This masala doesn't apply to a lady. The salah doesn't apply to this masala, also apply to a munfarid. It's referred to Imam. So where he's supposed to read loud, he read soft. Or where he's supposed to read soft, he read loud, right? Then also, he will have to make a sajda sahu. So now there's the first discussion. The second discussion, how much must he have done to qualify, or how much was he done to say it becomes wajib upon him? Right, that will also be discussed. So see, let's follow. Read there.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. ولو جهر الإمام فيما يظهر تلزمه سجدة السهو لأن الجار في موضعه والمخالفة فيها من الواجبات واختلفت الرواية في المقدار والأصح قدر ما تجوز به الصلاة في الفصلين لأن اليسير من الجهر والإخفاء لا يمكن إحراز
Right, see, there's what I told you. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. نحمده ونصلي على رسول الكريم ولو جهر الإمام فيما يخافت. So that's a mistake of the Imam. He was loud in that what he was silent. So simple example, if you were in the Asr namaz, right, and he started reciting loud, right, just another thing I want to share with you here. So what would happen is, if the Muqtadi, he sees now that there's the Asr namaz or vice versa, this is a loud namaz. You see this guy is reading soft. You know, by now he's supposed to have ready Sana. By now he's supposed to have ready Ta'awuz. By now he's supposed to have ready Basmala. So he's supposed to be reading loud now, but he's reading soft. So the Muqtadi says Subhanallah to remind the Imam, hey, you're supposed to be reading loud. Or vice versa. If he was reading soft, you say, hey, this guy is still reading soft, not reading loud. Then you say Subhanallah. And if it's a lady, what must she do? التكبير للرجال والتصفيق للنساء. So if a lady is reading salah with by the house with her husband, or she's reading with her father or her brother, and she says, hey, this guy is Asr namaz, but he's reading loud. So what she'll do? She clap on her hand. Or vice versa, she's making Jamaat with a brother, father, sister, brother, whatever, a son, a nephew, whatever. And here, Maghrib time, this guy's not reading. You can estimate in your mind that, look here, by now he's supposed to be reading, there was enough time to read the Sana, there was enough time to read the Ta'awuz, and he's not reading loud, so he should make it right. Although if she says loud, subhanallah, technically speaking, it won't break her salah. Technically speaking, it won't, but this is how she's supposed to do it. التكبير للرجال والتصفيق للنساء. So here we got it. ولو جهر الإمام فيما يخافت. The Imam was allowed in that we supposed to be soft. أو خافت فيما يجهر. Or on the contrary, he was soft in that which he was supposed to be loud, like vice versa. تلزمه سجدة السهوي. The two that Nur of Tasir dropped off, the two sajdas of sahw will become wajib upon him. Are you with me? Why? Because it is wajib in the salat, loud salat is wajib to read loud. While we're discussing this here, just also as an extra faida, why certain salats are loud, why certain salats are soft? Remember, in the initial stage of Islam, the Meccans, the Mushrikeen, they would persecute the Muslims. You know, when Islam was still weak, so to say. So Allah permitted the Muslims read the salah softly, so as that not antagonize and annoy the Mushrikeen, right? So they're saying, so that's why you got loud salah and soft salah. So now, normally in the nighttime, the mushrikeen are all sleeping or they're out of the way, so you can read loud. But in the daytime, when they're going about, if they hear you loud, they will trouble you, right? لأن الجهر في موضعه والمخافة في موضعه من الواجبات. Because to read loud in a loud salah, والمخافة and to read soft in a soft salah, من الواجبات, it is from the wajib things. So let's just say it is. So if you reverse the order, you've left out a wajib, right? So I think we left the previous ibarat out. أو ترك قراءة الفاتحة, we left that out. I don't think we done that ibarat. Read from there. Yeah. So we gave you the broader usul first. Like what is, we gave you the usul and now there's examples. So remember we told you this here, أو ترك قراءة الفاتحة. We told you that just nafsul qira'ah, that as far as just to recite that amount of Quran that can be recognized to be part of the Quran you read. If you say Alhamdulillah, that's too little, you won't understand. But you read such a verse where when you hear it, you'll understand this is the Quran. And there, like ulama explained, it is like a long ayat or whatever. That is faraz. But just to recite Surah Fatiha and a Surah that is wajib. So you left out Surah Fatiha in the first two rakats. Because remember the Hanafi madhab in the first two rakats wajib, in the second two rakats not wajib. So you left out Surah Fatiha, you forgot it, and you recited the Surah. So there you unintentionally left out the wajib. So because you unintentionally left out the wajib, what will happen? Sajda, right, Sujafaj, carry on. Awil Qunuta. Right, I told you that in witr namaz, whether it is in Ramadan as the Imam, or whether you are reading a witr throughout the year, or whether a woman is reading a witr by a house, whatever, she realized she read a witr namaz, and then she was in tashahud, and she said, hey, this is supposed to be witr namaz. I'm supposed to read my qunut. I'm supposed to raise my Allah Akbar and takbir, and she forgot. So now she can just make such a sound, it's fine. And also I told you this masla, that if you are a muqtadi, and somebody forgot to make the qunut, don't call him back, leave him. And I gave you the reasoning. When he goes into ruku, he's going into a faraz. So don't call a person out of a faraz back to a wajib thing, because the faraz is more important. Leave him. Leave him. So this is important masah for Ramadan. So the Imam forgot to make his qunut. Leave him. He's in witr, leave him. After the two rakats, see if he makes the sajda. If he makes the sajda, alhamdulillah, well and good, he's compensated. If he never makes the sajda, say subhanallah, remind him, hey, you've left out the qunut, make your sajda. So right, you understood it. So there you got, these are the all examples of doing wajibat, right? Aw takbiratil eidaini, right? Next one. Remember, they teach you always that at the beginning of after Ramadan, Ramadan, that you must make the intention, Ya Allah, I'm reading 2 rakats, Eid namaz with 6 wajib extra takbirat. So it shows you that those takbir, when you say Allahu Akbar first, you make the takbir tahrima, then you recite the sana, then you recite the sana, and after Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, 3 takbir, in the surah Fatiha, the surah, and in the second rakat, after the surah, 3 Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar, 3 takbirs, right? So somebody forgot to make all the takbirat. You clean forgot. But you don't read the whole year, so you forgot. Or maybe he left one of those takbirs out in the Eid namaz. So now you must compensate for the day, sajda. So carry on. لأنها واجبات.
واظب عليها من غير ترك مرة وهي طهارة.
Right. The next ibarat is a very interesting ibarat. These things are wajib. How do we know they are wajib? How do we know they are wajib? Like tashahud, takbirat, aidain. Yeah, they're giving you the principle. I told you Hidayah Sharif is a book of usul, is a book of principle. How do we know these are wajib? I first explain, I'll put you. Nabi Sallallahu done them regularly. Remember, if it is proven from the Quran, then it is farz. Right? And if Nabi Sallallahu done something regularly, what not even leaving it out one time, that shows it is wajib. If Nabi Sallallahu does something regularly, but sometimes he left it out, then it shows you the sunnah mu'akkadah. If Nabi Sallallahu left out something and done it sometimes, then it is sunnah ghair mu'akkadah. You understood what I'm saying? Right, so listen to this, interesting. If it's proven from the Quran, like you say, فَقْرَأُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ مِنَ الْقُرْآنِ وَارْكَعُوا وَاسْجُدُوا وَعْبُدُوا, etc., then that shows you farz, right? If the Nabi read it continuously, it's not, never leave it out one time, we say it is wajib. If the Nabi does it regularly, but really he left it out, then it is what? Sunnat mu'akkadah. And if the Nabi done it and left out in equal measure, then it's sunnat ghair mu'akkadah. Interesting faida we got there. See, I told you will learn extra things from Hidayah Sharif. So they show you. So he made a statement that qunut, tashahud, takbirat, etc. is wajib. What is your proof that is wajib? Yeah, he say, فَإِنَّ عَلَيْهِ السَّلَامُ وَاظَبَ عَلَيْهَا, وَاظَبَ, he was regular with it, مِنْ غَيْرِ تَرْكِهَا مَرَّةً, without leaving it out even one time. And he said, وَهِيَ أَمَارَةُ الْوُجُوبِ. There's the critical. The fact that Nabi done it regularly without even leaving it one time. There's no hadith that say sometimes he made the shout, sometimes he never make the shout. Sometimes he like this the shout you refer to the shout of what? Of the after the second rakat, right? After the first shufa. Or there's no sometimes he should make the shout, sometimes he never, there's no such thing, right? So وَهِيَ أَمَارَةُ الْوُجُوبِ. This is the sign of it being wajib. First proof. The next thing, وَلِأَنَّهَا تُضَعَفُ إلى جميع الصلوات. The second thing is these words that attributed to the whole salah. You say Qunutul Witri, Tashahudus Salati, Takbiratul Idaini. So you say when you attribute that thing to the whole salah, that shows you it's an integral part of the salah. You won't say the takbirat of Eid if it is something that you had a choice of doing or not doing. You know what I'm saying? You won't say qunutul witr. This is the qunut of witr. If you had a choice, it's when you want to do it, you can do it. The fact that you attributing it to the salah show you this is an integral and important part of the salah. Do you understood it? That's what he's saying. وَلِأَنَّهَا تُضَاعَفُ إِلَى جَمِيعِ صَلَاتِ فَدَلَّ أَنَّهَا مِنْ خَصَائِصِ. So the fact that you attribute it to the whole salah show you it is a speciality of the salah. That qunut witr, this witr is speciality as qunut, right? فَدَلَّ عَلَى أَنَّهَا مِنْ خَصَائِصِ وَذَلِكَ بِالْوُجُوبِ. And something can be the speciality of something only when it's wajib. If something is not wajib, it won't be speciality. Understood that, right? So ثم ذكر التشهد يحتمل القاعدة الأولى والثانية والقراءة فيهما, right? وكل ذلك واجب وفيها سجدة السهو والصحيح. Now see, now they're commenting here in this ibarat, they're commenting on the top ibarat. They explain the top ibarat. He's saying, there on top is al-qunutu, qunut is wajib, and tashahud is wajib, right? And takbirat al-idain is wajib, right? They're saying, ثم ذكر التشهد. So here he's commenting on the top ibarat. You understand what I'm saying? So the mention of tashahud on top, right? يحتمل القاعدة الأولى والثانية. It has the possibility of meaning the first tashahud or the second tashahud, right? Right. Because وَالْقِرَاءَةُ فِيمَا, because in both you have to recite tashahud. To sit in that position is far as, remember, in the second one, because the Nabi said, إِذَا قُلْتَ هَذَا أَوْ فَعَلْتَ هَذَا فَقَدْ تَمَّتْ صَلَاتُكَ. Remember, are you with me? So, to recite the tashahud in the first qa'dah, this is an extra masla, you must understand it nicely. To recite the tashahud in the first qa'dah and the second qa'dah is wajib, right? So, but to sit in that position of tashahud in the second qa'dah, that is fard. Are you with me? So, just to understand this, before we come back to the kitab, if a person after in his second shufah, or maybe he's reading witr namaz, in his third rakat, he's reading maghrib, third rakat, he sat in the position of tashahud, and he made salam, but he never recited tashahud, we'll say he left out a wajib. But sitting in a position was farz, because we done this in detail. When you sit in this position or you recite this, your salat is complete. So obviously, the reason said if you do one of the two, but it's not possible to do one of the two. It's not possible that you can recite it without sitting. Where are you going to recite it? It means you sit. This means when you sit, then your farz of your salah is complete. So that shows you that the actual sitting in the position of tashahud and to recite the tashahud after the first shufah, after the second rakat is wajib. And in the fourth rakat, to sit in tashahud is farz. And to recite the tashahud is wajib. So as we say, there you got it now. ثم ذكر التشهد. There is a mentioning of tashahud. يحتمل القاعدة الأولى. It has the possibility of the first qa'dah والثانية and the second one. Because both are wajib. Like I explained you the detail now. It's not far as the second one, it's also wajib, right? وَالْقِرَاءَةُ فِيهِمَا. And you have to recite in both of them, التَّحِيَاتُ لِلَّهِ. That is, to recite it is wajib, right? وَكُلُّ ذَلِكَ وَاجِبٌ. So both of that is wajib, right? To recite in the first tashahud and second tashahud, right? وَكُلُّ ذَلِكَ وَاجِبٌ وَفِيهَا سَجْدَ السَّهْوِ. And if you leave them out in any one, whether it's the first tashahud or the second tashahud, it means that after the first two rakats or the four rakats, it is wajib, and if you read wajib out unintentionally, you have to complete what I suggest now, right? Are you with me? Okay, then the next thing is, we discussed this. وَلَوْ جَهَرَ الْإِمَامُ فِيمَا يُخَافِتُ أَوْ خَافَتَ فِيمَا يَجْهَرُ تَلْزَمُهُ سَجْدَةَ السَّهْوِ. I told you that to recite it loud in the place of loud is wajib, and to recite be soft when you have to be soft is wajib. If you reverse the order, you decide to say it loud. I gave you the explanation of what is loud in the preferred permission in the Hanafi brother, what is considered to be loud and what is completely preferred, what is supposed to be soft. We do that. So you reverse the order. Why? لأن الجهر في موضعه والمخافة في موضعه من الواجبات. These are the wajib things, right? Now the next thing is, how much will you say? If you just said, for example, you started the Maghrib Masjid, Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, you just Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. We say now if to make that or how much loud must you recite? Or how much of the soft, um, if you're supposed to be loud, you recite softly. Or you're supposed to be soft, you say loud. How much of it will warrant and require you to make sajdastahu? That's what I say. واختلفت الرواية, right? في المقدار. The narrations differ with regards to the amount that necessitates سجسه. والأصح قدر ما تجوز بالصلاة في الفصلين. So simple. You see, remember we discussed this before. What is wajib and what is farz kirat? Remember, what is the wajib kirat? Wajib kirat is this here, that in every rakat you must recite, not every rakat, but in the first two rakats, you must recite Surah Fatiha and the Surah. That is the wajib kirat, right? And the farz qiraat is what we say, فَقْرَأُوا مَا تَيَسَّرَ in the Quran. You must read that much. When a person hears it, you can hear this person is reading Quran. So if you recite that amount loud when you're supposed to be soft, or you recite that amount soft when you're supposed to be loud, then sajda will become wajib. So yeah, in the sharah, they explain here that, I'll give it to you here. So according to what we say, Mata Juzu bihi Salat, Imam Abu Hanifa says even if it's one long verse, and Sahih says it was three short verses. So if you add in that amount, then sajda sahu will become wajib. So this is for the Imam to work on, because you as a listener, if he was reciting softly when he's supposed to be reciting loud, in his mind he recited that amount soft. So you know now, even though after he's corrected and he said Subhanallah, you must read loud, recite loud. So if the amount he recited soft was like three short verses or one long verse, then what will happen? You will have to now make sajda. We understood it. So there, let's see. So yeah, next I say, look here, we will say sajda shall become only when you read that much, like a long ayat or short ayat. Even if it's just one or two words, we won't punish him with the sajda. Why? Because people make mistakes all the time, and sometimes you say Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen, you make a mistake like that. So that is what I say, a small amount of reversing the order. It's not what you call it, easy to abstain from that. It is not easy to abstain from that. So because it's something which is what you call it, difficult to abstain from, that will be overlooked. But just to read so much that where salat is permissible, what the salat becomes permissible, the farz of salat is that much we will not tolerate. They say if you done unintentionally, you have to make the sajda. You understood that? They're saying لأن اليسير من الجهر والإخفاء لا يمكن الاحتراز عنه, because just reciting one or two words loudly or softly in the wrong place لا يمكن الاحتراز عنه, is difficult to abstain. So we won't punish him for that, right? وَالكثير ممكن, but yes, you're supposed to be alert in salah. You can't be so negligent that you recite a whole long verse or three verses loudly or softly when it's supposed to be soft and loud. They will say such just now become wajib, right? Right. وَمَا تَصْيَحُ بِالصَّلَاةُ كَثِيرٌ. That which we say salat, the farz of salat is down, which I told you, one long verse ago in Ma'warifa, three short verses ago in Sabin. That is considered a lot, right? غَيْرَ أَنَّ ذَلِكَ إِنَّهُ آيَةٌ وَاحِدَةٌ وَإِنَّهُمَا ثَلَاثُ آيَاتٍ. That is according to Imam Hanifa, آيَةٌ واحدة is one verse, وَإِنَّهُمَا ثَلَاثُ آيَاتٍ. And according to Sahibain, it is at least three short verses that which the farz namaz will be done with, right? وهذا في حق الإمام دون المنفرد. This is with regards to the Imam. So if you are munfarid and you decide to read loud stuff, you've done this already before, that doesn't impact upon the salat. Even if a munfarid, sorry, so yeah, munfarid has a choice to read loud and soft. Remember, when it's a loud salah or it's a soft salah, a man still has a choice to read soft, right? Like the other jahra al mukhafata min khasa'is al jamaat, because reading loud and soft, that the salat you have to be loud and the salat you have to be soft. This is from the speciality of reading jamaat, not reading munfarid. So even if a man is reading alone salah and he's reading those salah that requires you to read loud, even like if he reads soft where he can hear himself, that will be good enough for him. Right, we'll stop inshallah. We'll continue tomorrow. Subhanallah wa bihamdi subhanallah.